Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome back to our subject, which we have been discussing for last three sessions. Sunnatullah, the habit of Allah. Yesterday, we had read the chapter number 5 and number 6, in which we took the habit of Allah regarding the guidance and how He guide whomever He wish. And we talked about the nature way in which the human were created. So today, we will start on chapter 7 and inshallah chapter 8, if time permits. May Mawla Zaman and all His blessings be upon us, and may He give us tawfiq, ta'id, himmat and yari, so we may be able to see His way, how not only Allah, the Nur Mujarrad, the absolute Nur, abstract Nur, but along with Him, His selected, chosen prophets and the Imam Tahireen's habit is on the same line as his habit. Why is it so important for us in this lesson? Because one cannot say Allah's habits are different than the habits of the prophets or the Imam Tahireen, or even for that matter, the Arifin, the Hujjatan, Dayan, Mu'minin. We should all be on the same way, the way of Allah. Absolutely, we did talk about that there are utter ways, absolute no changes in the way of Allah. But then we also talked about that within His habit is to change things. So at the end, finally someone did ask that question. That did you really say that? That in one hand, His habits are absolute and you will not see any changes in His habit. And at the same token, His habit is to change things. And the example which were presented was the example of opposite, day and night, khair and shar, life and death, beginning and ending, awal and akhir, zahir and batin, opposite. And we have talked about, and this is how we will understand how the Prophet brings changes to the Shariat. But what they do not change is the essence of the Shariat, essence of the religion, essence of Allah's commands. Those changes are not changeable. So let's learn this part, and thank you for paying attention. And I did say that, and since no one said anything, but again, thank you for sending that question in the form of a query, wondering, did I really say that? And yes, I did. For example, atal, untaught, not changeable habit of Allah regarding the religion. And we talked about how He guides always. So we can say that is His absolute habit. But then what is the changeable habit within this habit? Sometimes He guides through prophets, imams, awliya, or anbiya. You see that? Sometimes He sends angels to guide. Sometimes He sends or He comes on His own with a form or the other to help and guide the human. There is a great story which I love to tell, and this here is proper because we understand the habit of Allah is that He guides, He helps, and He is the best of the helper. So a story goes that at one time there was a great flood in Bangladesh, Dhaka, and the government asked the people from the lower ground to move to the higher ground. And there was a Maulana there, very staunch believer. He said, no, my Lord is sufficient and He will protect me. I do not need your help. Talking to the government. And he did not leave his home. As the flood came, as the water rised, he moved from his ground level home to the first floor to get away from the water, and water was keep rising. So a boat came to rescue him. He said, I do not need your help. My Lord is sufficient and He will save me. The water rise, he moved from first level to the second level. And a helicopter came to rescue him from the rooftop. He said, my Lord is sufficient enough and He will help me, He will rescue me. Water rise and rise and he drowned and he died. As soon he appeared in the front of his Lord, he complained. Said, Lord, I truly believed in you, that you were sufficient enough and you will protect me and help me. And God said, Gada, are you stupid? I came 3 times. First time in the form of a volunteer, urged you to move out of your home. You did not listen to me. Second time, I brought a boat. Because you believed in me, I came to help you. But you were not listening. You were not paying attention. And the third time, just because of your faith, I brought a helicopter to pull you away from the flood. But you did not pay attention. You did not listen to me. And now you are blaming me? I was sufficient, but you have to give me your hand so I can pull you. You see, habit of Allah does not change. But sometimes He changed the forms. And this is what we are talking about. Not the story. Story was just an example. Sometimes Allah take different shapes and forms to guide, to help, to protect. Sometimes His nur is in front of us. Sometimes His nur is on right of us. But He's always there, wherever we will see. And the key word is, if we see. He's always there to protect us if we pay attention. He's always calling on us if we are listening. So tomorrow we cannot say that, Ya Allah, why did you not guide me? I always have guide in front of you. I'm always in a form, the form that you can understand. My absolute form is above your comprehension, above your reach, above your touch. So what do? I come in the form that you understand. And no Muslim ever deny the prophets have come to guide the mu'mineen, the humanity. If that is true, that Allah have sent the prophets to guide the human, then we should be asking ourselves a question. What did we do wrong? Where did we go wrong? That there is no prophet to guide us today. Unless we say that sometimes He sent help, guidance, under the subject, under the topic of prophet. Sometimes He sends the guidance and help under the title of imams. Sometimes He sends the help in the form of angels. Because if you are not listening, then even if He comes and bring the boat to rescue you, you are not paying attention, you are not listening. Regardless, it does not matter. Because if you are paying attention to His habit, and His habit always has been from the day one, He sent Adam to guide. He has sent prophets after prophet, messenger after messenger, Rasul after Rasul, books after books, imams after imams to guide you. His habit has not changed. So how does prophets and imam habit be in the same line as Allah? So I have few ayat here, and we will start all the way from the beginning. And let's see what Allah's habit is. And is this habit in line with the habit of the prophets first, and the habit of the imam second? Does imam do exactly the same way as the prophet did? And does prophet follows on the same line, on the way of Allah? This is our lesson for the day. So how does Allah does? So He fashions Adam. So number one, He fashions him. What does He do second? He breathes His soul into him. And then what does He do? The third, He sends him to the earth amongst the human to guide them. Meaning, He will be in human form, speaking just like you and me, walk and talk just like you and me, and then he will guide. So we all are in agreement with the Adam, the way Adam was created. And here are the three of the references of that he fashions him, he breathes his soul into him, and then he sends him down to us. Surah 15:29, Surah 32:9, and Surah 38:72. This far we are all in agreement. There is no ifs and buts or question in this matter. That is the said word in which we believe that Allah have fashioned, breathed in his soul, and sent Adam to the earth. All right, let's move forward. What about Hazrat Isa? And what about Mullah Ali? Are we still on same line, or did we change something here? So let's see. What does Hazrat Isa do, which we can comfortably say for fact that he, just like Allah, fashioned, created, and blown his nur, his soul, into it. Surah 3, Surah Al-Imran, ayat number 49. He says, I have come to you. Who said? Hazrat Isa. With a sign, ayat, miracle, a living lesson from your Lord. So he was a risen human which Allah has sent to the human. And so far we are in agreement that Hazrat Isa was sent by Allah, and he had breathed his soul into Maryam, which became Hazrat Isa. And now Isa is telling us, the follower of Isa, that I have come to you with a miracle, an ayat from your Lord. I will make for you from clay. The clay, the same clay Allah used to create Adam, from clay, the likeness of a bird, angels, and then I will breathe into it my soul, and by the permission, by the izn of Allah. So let me ask, Allah created with the clay Adam, and Hazrat Isa was making birds, or was he also taking the mu'mineen and making angels out of them by creating them, breathing his soul into them, and they would become angels? So let me read this middle line. I will make for you from clay the likeness, not the bird, likeness of the bird. And the bird is the tawil of the bird is farishte, malaik, angels. So I will take the mu'mineen, I will breathe into them, and mu'mineen equal to clay in this ayat. So I will take the mu'min, clay, I will breathe my soul into them, and they will become like angels. just like Allah did for Adam. By the izn of Allah. So here we see the habit of prophets, and it is not only about Hazrat Isa. If you go back to the Hazrat Dawood's story, he was making the clothing or the safe cloth, the armor. What was those armor? He was breathing his soul into the mu'mineen, so they will be saved from the shar of shayateen. In other words, he was making them perfect. He was breathing his soul into them. Did every prophet, and we take the big 6 Natiqeen, did they make a sasan after them, just like them? For example, with Adam, Hazrat Ashish, with Musa, Harun, with Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Mawla Ali. Did they not follow on the same line as Allah? Mawla Ali says that I am the Wajhullah. I am the face of Allah. And who was in the face of Allah? If you all remember, Adam was in the face of Allah. In other words, I am in the face of Allah. I am that Adam in which Allah has breathed his nur, his soul. But here it was through the Muhammad Mustafa, Rasul-e Khuda, who had breathed the soul into Ali Murtaza. And he became alive. He became Asad. He became the first Imam. He became the face of Allah. Because if he had the soul of Allah, then what else would he be? Remember, this is the very soul Allah had breathed into Adam. On and on, it came into Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa, may peace be upon him, and through him into Ali Murtaza, and continues in the Imams. So Mawla Ali saying that I am the face of Allah is a profound, spiritual, metaphorical, and in same narration, acclaimed title of Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib indicated his role as the manifestation of divine attributes and the means of the recognition of Allah on earth. If there was no face of Allah on earth, how would we recognize the absolute abstract nur we call Allah? How do we recognize him? Through face of Allah, and that is Imam. That is Imam. So here, let's move into habit. And this is our subject for today. Does Imam also breathe his soul into the mu'mineen? So Allah does same thing. Prophets do the same thing. Mullah Ali says, I am the face of Allah. Meaning, if he is face of Allah, he can also breathe the soul of Allah into the mu'mineen. How do we see that? How do we understand this part? So does Imam also breathe the soul, meaning his nur into the mu'mineen? Yes. Initially through Faramin. Each time Imam opened his mouth to give the farman, those who are mu'mineen take that farman. Through that farman, through their voice, Imam breathe the rule iman into the mu'min. And that is the initial stage. Imam breathes his soul into us twice. If we allow him to do so. Remember, Imam gives farman and he speaks to Ismailis, to Ummah, to the entire humanity. How does Ismaili see the words of the Imam, the farman of the Imam? How does Ummah take the words of the Imam? Because Imam words are farman to a mu'min. How does humanity take the words of Imam? The farman of the Imam, and to mu'min, Imam's word are faramin. We are all listening. Who accept that soul? Who accept those faramin? Who accept those words? The mu'minin. So initially, through the farman, Imam breathed his rule iman into the mu'min. Once that faith, that iman is formed in the mu'min, if they accept and follow on the line, the way of the Imam through the farman. And if they do that, then they come back. And second time, through Isme Azam, he breathes his soul into the mu'min. And when he does that, he makes us alive. Through the Isme Azam, he makes us alive. And I can hear your question now. Does he fashion us like Allah did? Like Hazrat Isa did? Like Hazrat Muhammad did? Does Imam fashion us? And then he breathes his soul into us? Yes, absolutely. Through the farman, he fashions us first. He completes us first. Then he breathes his soul through the Isme Azam. And he breathes that soul into us so we may become alive. Just like Adam, just like angels. This is how Imam, in the same habit, in the same line as prophets, and in the same line as Allah, breathes his soul into the mu'mineen. But first, he fashioned us through the farman. Let's look at some of the faramin and see if we find our subject. Do we see him first fashioning us, making us perfect, complete? And then we will take some of the faramin where he is breathing his soul into us and see if it's in the same line as Allah and the prophets. Imam Shah Kareem, Golden Jubilee, Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad, 13 December 2008. Throughout the Jamaat's history, including during the Fatimid times, a constant feature of the Ismaili Tariqah has been complementary, complete, complementarily, between practice that are specific to our tariqah and those that are part of the Sharia, common to all Muslims. Underline what? Common to all Muslims, although with dimensional specifications. So what is that history? Example of this is, these are the historic coexistence between namaz and dua. This first example. And the concept of private prayers, ibadat, and personal search, ilm. So how does Imam fashion us? That was the question. First, through the time of Shariat, through the namaz, time of haqiqat, through the dua. Second, the concept of private prayers, ibadat. And third, personal search. Personal search, initially I said ilm. Private search, ilm. And a little bit later on, I'm going to add one more to this. Don't forget. Personal search, which has an important place in Islam, since it concerns the relationship of the faith with life. Underline word. Relationship of faith with life. Does anybody follow the faith without being alive or without the life? Think about that for a second. It is in this light that in Shia Ismaili Islam, the Imam of the time recognized a variety of prayers. An example, Tasbihat, Betul Khiyal, Qasidas, Ginan, by which an individual can submit to the divine and protect himself or herself against the materialism of secular life, and the many other challenges of daily lives. Then I have taken one of the old Farman from Imam Shah Sultan Muhammad Shah, Sunnatullah alayhi. May our soul be sacrificed to the Imam. Imam says, you should fully train your children. Do you see that? You're also doing the same thing, molding and fashioning, just as Imam is molding and fashioning. You need to mold and fashion your children. Same line. Remember, our habit cannot be too far away from the Imams. You should fully train your children on all aspects of our religion. That is dua, ginan, faramin, history, etc. in order to keep them firm in their faith. Imam Shah Karim in 1961, again fashioning us, perfecting us. Those who prayed regularly occurred peace and happiness. Islamic history shows. Now remember, with the namaz or dua, what was the important thing? We talked about ibadat. And what was the third one? Personal search. Don't forget, for personal search, I said ilm. And I'm going to come back to that and I'm going to add something to it. So don't forget that. I want you to connect all this with the statement above. Those who prayed regularly acquired peace and happiness. Islamic history shows that when the prayers Bandagi was the word. Because some folks take this prayer as dua. Bandagi was forgotten and no importance was attached to this important factor of life. Then Islamic states were ruined. Well, they were still offering namaz. They were still following. What did they forget? Bandagi, the second part, the bandagi. And due to that, the Islamic states were ruined. So, how do we understand and go forward from that statement? In 1964, Imam guiding us, Ismailis, says, I would like my spiritual children to understand that most of you have worldly matters, those you should not have in concentration. This is not the essence. This is not the essence. The essence is the soul. Essence is the soul. He who forgets the soul is unhappy. This you will see every day around you. There would be many people. They may be rich and they think they are happy, but real happiness is not there. This is why my spiritual children should understand. Don't forget your prayers and your ibadat. And your ibadat. And here comes the third person search. Connected to the ilm first. Connected to the ilm first. If you read history, now Imam is talking about ilm. If you read history, you will come to know Muslim could do so much in Prophet's time. This is because they used to perform ibadat. Ibadat. Now, remember the third part, personal search? And this is the second part. So first part of personal search was ilm. And we took this farman above to mention all three parts of it. The prayers, the ibadat, and the personal search learned from the history. Now let's take the other part of the personal search because it has dual meaning to it. Here, Imam is breathing his second soul through the Isme Azam to bring life to us, to make us alive. He fashioned us through his farman. Now he's going to breathe his soul into us so we may become alive. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala Muhammad. Baitul Qiyam Farman 2017, Karachi, Pakistan. Mullah says, I will breathe my soul into you. No, Imam did not use those words. Imam says, I will give you my bowl. Do you understand? Imam says, come, so I may breathe my soul into you through Isme Azam. I will give you the bowl. Meaning, he who is above everything, he who is above everything, and the symbolism is spiritually to get closer to him who is above everything, to move away from the world of everyday life to the world of the eternity. Seek that out, and once you have found it, let it guide you to good things. It will bring you happiness. It will bring you peace. I hope it will bring you patience, and I urge my Jamaat not to think of failure. I don't want you to associate with this practice the notion of failure. Which practice we are talking about? Ibadat with Ismi Azam. There is no failure. There is no failure with Ismi Azam. The fact that you practice is success. If you choose with your free will to come to Imam Zaman and say, I wish to elevate my soul, I do not want to forget my ibadat, I wanted to perform my ibadat, and here comes that word, and I wanted to do personal search spiritually. First one was personal search physically. Personal search for the Noor. I want to do a spiritual personal search, and that is your ibadat. And how do you do that? Through the Ismi Azam. Now, we understand both sides of personal search. And in that, there is no such thing as failure. The fact that you practice is success. So I'm saying to my spiritual children, today, don't fear failure. If you fear failure, you close the door. Close the door to what? Success. And it makes it much more difficult for you to find that special light which you are in search for. So don't fear failure. Be patient. Be courageous. Be discreet, and keep in mind this is a matter which is of the soul. It is about faith. It is not about world of everyday life. Look at how Imam is guiding us. The same way Allah guides humanity, same way Rasuls have guided the Muslimin, same way Imam is guiding the Mu'mineen. And all of them are walking on the one single path. There is no change in the habit of Allah. There is no change in habit of Allah. 1994, London, Baitul Qiyal Farman, Imam Zaman says, for many decades, Murid in Jamaat used a naqsh, and they used to have a bowl. I no longer give the naqsh for the first stage of Baitul Qiyal. If you don't know what naqsh is, you can ask at the end. Therefore, you need to remember only the bowl that I will give you. And remember that the bowl is a symbol. Bowl is a symbol. It is an access point in your search, your personal search. But it is a symbol. Seek through the light in the name of Hazrat Ali to come close to He who is above all else. In this line, let me remind those of you who I know will ask me question, what if I do not have bowl? I know you're going to ask me that, and let me go ahead and answer you right now. Let me repeat the words of the Imam Zaman. Seek through the light in the name of Ali. Haven't Mullahs given you that Ismi Azam many times over? Take tasbih. Remember the name of Allah. Remember the name of Muhammad. Remember the name of Ali. And the name of Ali to come, use the name of Ali as your Ismi Azam if you don't have one. And Come close to He who is above all else. Seek out the light and bring it to you, and let me say to you again that if you are successful in your bandagi, you will have a sense of spiritual enlightenment about which you will have no doubt, and which you will not be comparable to any other feeling or understanding that you could have in your physical life. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala Muhammad. So this is our lesson for this day. Inshallah, we will continue next week further on the way of Allah, habit of Allah, inshallah. Ji.